In the headlines, IGP meets residents of embattled Donkokrum. Finance Minister describes Ghana's debt position as sustainable and manageable. To the studios of GBC24 and GTV. This is News Tonight. My name is Michelin Taka. It's going to be 30 minutes of news. To our first story now, the Inspector General of Police, John Kudalo, has met with residents of Donkokrum in their farm place after a mob action in the area last week. Residents of Donkokrum and Tiase vandalized the Donkokrum police station and attacked the police. This was after two policemen who had been arrested for allegedly attacking a bullion van belonging to GCB Bank escaped from the grips of the police. Although the said culprits have been rearrested, there has been tension in Donkokrum. In our earlier bulletin, the Director of Public Relations Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, Superintendent Cephas Arthur, who was with the IGP during the visit, told us that the meeting was fruitful.
The first thing we did was to inspect the police facilities at Donkokrum and to meet the personnel for briefing. After that, the police, the IGP, paid a call on the political leadership, that is the DCE and State Assembly, where another briefing was done, after which the police, the IGP together with the MC and his men also met with the chiefs and people and opinion leaders of Donkokrum, where another briefing was given from the side of the people. After that meeting, the IGP and the entourage came to Tiase, another community in the farm place, and met with the people and chiefs. And then the final one was at Mami Krobo. We left the Mami Krobo about 30 minutes ago. And I can say that everything went well. The people appreciate the fact that there was a need to exercise maximum restraint and not taking the law into their own hands and vandalize police facilities. There were entreatments and implorations from the people of Afram Place, calling the police to rescind an information they have heard the police intends taking, and that is withdrawing their men. The way the IGP responded that it was a consideration that they had, and that having come and had ocular proof of what happened, having come and conferred with the people and chiefs of the Afram Place, he was going to go back, sit down with his lieutenants, and then confer, and then take a final decision that will benefit both the police and the people of Donkokrum.
What would make a father repeatedly sexually abuse his 11-year-old daughter? Unthinkable and unjustifiable as this, that is the story of a girl who we name Angel for the purposes of this report. Her biological father, with whom she has been staying after her parents separated, defiled her countless times. Angel currently suffers abdominal pains and depression. Research shows that most girls from broken homes tend to suffer all forms of abuses at the hands of relations or guardians. Akpene Avo Ataja brings you the story on one of the many girls who suffered sexual abuse at the hands of relations.
Namiwo 9 years and I'm di me ba ofan call me papa ho. Enti me de odi me ba papa ho na papa start so oni me da. Oba na se mada ho a. Now wabel run me pant. Enti o run me pant ni sa. Enti na makache ni sa enti ade o ye no me mpese wan hwe ya.
It all started somewhere last year when Angel's parents separated and her mother had to leave the house, leaving her with her father in a chamber in Hall House. One night, her father entered her room and sexually abused her. That was the beginning of her woes. Every other night from then, her father would come to her room at night and rape her.
Sɛ mekɔ school a na mesu wɔ class ɛna yɛ teacher ebisa me sɛ nti deɛ na ɛyɛ me ansa na de bia me ba school a mesu ɛna meka kyerɛ ne sɛ nyɛ hwee nti ogusu force me a na me di asɛm ne ka kyerɛ no.
Angel's grandfather says it took the intervention of her teacher at school to know that something was wrong. According to the teacher, Angel started showing signs of depression and she stayed away from everyone at school.
I sent her to the hospital and then the doctors examined her and told me it is true that something of that sort has been done to her. So I came back to the police station with the report and then the arrest was made.
Figures from the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit of the Ghana Police Service suggest that girls from broken homes are mostly victims of sexual violence and abuse. Defilement continues to account for over 50% of all sexual offences reported to DOFSU. Angel's case is one of many cases DOFSU receives on a daily basis.
Sexual offences take place in the homes or the communities at most. But to get a stranger is once a while, but mostly it happens in the homes, people that we are familiar with.
Currently, Angel's education has been interrupted because she now stays with family members. The distance from her new home to her school is one of the reasons why she is out of school. There's also the issue of school fees that was once her father's responsibility. So we asked DOFSU how they tend to support such victims.
We accompany them to the hospital until they are treated or the treatment is over. Then some of them, you realize that psychologically they are traumatized. And so we give them basic counseling. And if they need clinical psychologists to assist them, we ensure that we find one for them to take them through their trauma until they are fit.
The Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, Section 101 defines defilement as the natural or unnatural carnal knowledge of any child under 16 years of age. Whoever naturally or unnaturally carnally knows any child under 16 years of age, whether with or without her consent, commits an offence and shall be liable on summary conviction to imprisonment for a term of not less than 7 years or not more than 25 years. The accused is currently in police custody, set to appear in court on the 22nd of August 2016. Akpene Avo Ajaja, GBC24.
The Minister for Finance, Mr. Seth Tekpe, says Ghana is on track to meeting all conditions with regards to the IMF program. Speaking at the Meet the Press series in Accra, the minister also lauded Parliament for its role in passing over 14 laws and revamping several others.
After the mission has come to look at your performance criteria, they go back and then they say, by the way, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 areas, in our case 8, which they said you need to do something about, including parliament pass before we go to the board. It doesn't mean that you didn't perform on the performance criteria. So I think we should distinguish between the two. And that is the reason that we have had the delay, and hopefully, there will be some further evaluation, and IMF will definitely go to the board.
The regional area manager of the VRA and Northern Electricity Distribution Company NEDCO, Lucy Pabinyako, has cautioned residents in flood-prone areas of the Upper East region not to ignore early warning signs from authorities of the Bagre Dam in Burkina Faso over its possible spillage. She said the dam's holding capacity, which is steadily moving to its maximum water level of 235.90 cubic meters, could warrant a spillage anytime soon.
Flooding in parts of the Upper East region as a result of the spillage of the Bagre and Kopenga dams in neighboring Burkina Faso has become an annual ritual that occurred between the month of August and September. The 2007 and 2011 floods are recorded in history as the worst flood disasters ever experienced in northern Ghana. Tracts of farmlands, including lives, were lost, with thousands displaced. The regional area manager of the VRA and the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, Mrs. Pebinyako, said in the event of flooding, VRA's distribution networks and poles are often not spared.
If the flood affects communities, and those communities, if they have access to electricity, of course, our poles and transformers are there. As a result of maybe the ground being too wet, sometimes the poles will be falling and that kind of thing. And if you have to go and replant the pole, it becomes a problem. Because if the whole place is flooded, how do you change the pole? So sometimes it also affects our operations.
Mrs. Pebinyako warned communities along the White and Black Volta that are most likely to be affected in the wake of the intended spillage to be on the lookout in order to save lives and property. She further cautioned other low-lying areas of northern Ghana, including parts of Bunahafu and Volta, to also be on high alert, especially in the midst of heavy rains. Mrs. Pebinyako therefore outlined some precautionary measures by the VRA to help minimize the devastating effects of flooding should it occur.
The various communities, the occupants will prepare themselves. It's better they stay at home than going to the field on that day, because you don't know what will happen. But once at home, you also look around in case there's any problem. Then you move to a higher grounds, like we've advised them.
Electricity connectivity in Ghana is widening. Futa, a village many prefer to call Tamale Rural, is now connected to the national electricity grid. The people are excited. Ordinarily, the mud-built round houses with thatched roofs like those in Futa remind us of a peaceful life in the past, full of simplicity. Napoleon Atukito was in Futa and now has this report.
Futa, the name does not ring a bell. It is not an easy to find spot on the map of geography. It is not on aviation radar. When you travel by road between Tamale and Yendi, you make a detour at some point and drive some 15 kilometers to get there. Except people living in the vicinity, many do not know about Futa village. It is embedded in Tamale South constituency. The village is engulfed by a hand that intervenes in the affairs of people. It is not the long arm of the law which has caught up with Futa. It is extended electricity cables which has reached Futa, sparking excitement in inhabitants. What this means is that there is electricity in Futa now, and that somewhat somehow switches have been installed on the traditional houses to light up each compound in the village. The Member of Parliament for the area, Mr. Haruna Idrisu, in his dual role of representing the President of the Republic and as a canvasser of support for his constituency, is spotted here socializing with the people. Political stewardship straddles the bricklayer and briefcase carrier. Again, international humanitarian blueprints target all manner of people, especially the ordinary man on the street, the have-nots, and those who could have been forgotten in the scheme of things. Though electricity is a commonplace for the urban dweller in sizable towns, its appearance in Futa village is huge for the people. The first of its kind in the thousands of years the world has been in place. Take a listen to what the people said about the facility. We are happy that the President has brought this light to our village. We have to extend his mandate so that he can do more. I am happy too. I have seen roads, electricity, school buildings and good drinking water. Oh, this is great. Ghana has made steady progress in electricity connectivity with a coverage of about 80%. Government says in Africa, Ghana comes second or next to South Africa on this poll. The government calls the provision of social amenities like water, waste management, schools, hospitals, telecommunications and electricity as the extension of the imperative hand of social justice. Life in the 21st century is not decent without these items. Napoleon Atukito reporting.
The Lejokuku Krowo Municipal Assembly, Lekma, has donated 2,000 Ghana cedis towards the treatment of Lois Safwa Ajari. The 12-year-old girl has been diagnosed with arterial abdominal wall tumor, otherwise called lymphangioma. Due to the complex nature of treatment required, doctors say Lois needs to be taken to Germany, where the needed facility is available. The total cost of the operation is 9,000 euros. Viewers are cautioned that some pictures may be disturbing.
Lymphangioma is an uncommon congenital malformation of the lymphatic system that involves the skin and subcutaneous tissues. The condition is known in medical terms as hatomatos. The disease usually attacks the head and neck of its victim. It may subsequently appear in the intestines and the pancreas. Lois Safwa Ajari was diagnosed with cavernous lymphangioma of the anterior abdominal wall and perineum when she was only 1 year old. The disease has grown in size over the period. Lois Safwa Ajari has already undergone 3 surgeries, with one condition cropping up after treating the previous one. Lois is a Class 4 pupil at Freshers Complex School in Accra. Her dream is to become a doctor. She is unable to attend school regularly because of her condition. Lois is required to undergo laser photocoagulation therapy, but the facility for the treatment is currently unavailable in Ghana. The director of Kwe Nungwag Foundation, Ms. Esther Kwe Kuma, solicited funds from the Lejokuku Krowo Municipal Assembly to support Lois's operation. The required amount for the surgery is 9,000 euros, and therefore more donations are needed. No amount is too little.
The Kwe Nungwag Foundation received a letter from Mr. Ajari, and we solicited for funds through other firms. We wrote to Lejokuku Krowo Municipal Assembly, and they donated some amount to us. So we are donating this amount of 2,000 cedis that was given to us by Lekma to support the surgery for Lois.
I'll use this opportunity to appeal to the general public also to come into my daughter's aid so that her operation can be carried on.
Donations can be sent through Unibank Eslegon branch with account number 33101331118217.
Before we take leave of you, a look at the stories which made headlines today. 3 senior Olympic Council of Ireland officials, including one from Northern Ireland, have had their passports seized, and the Inspector General of Police, IGP John Kudalo, has met residents at Donkokrom in Afram Plains in connection with vandalization of the police situation in the area last Friday. The police administration threatened to withdraw its services to residents of Donkokrom and Tiase. And the Minister for Finance, Mr. Seth Tekpe, says Ghana is on track to meeting all conditions with regards to the IMF program. The minister has also praised Parliament for its role in passing over 14 laws and revamping several others. And in the US, they are pushing for quick deployment of a 4,000-strong African Union protection force to bolster the UN peacekeeping mission in South Sudan. The UN Security Council approved the deployment following renewed fights in June between forces loyal to President Salva Kiir and his former Vice President Riek Machar. It was nice having you on board. Thanks for your company. Good evening.